jump to the sky turns to a rider kick.
Hi everyone, I'm Chrono Garuda, and today we're taking a look at the Star Wars Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. Now, this is one of two variants of this toy. Back in the day, you could either get the ship itself, which is packaged slightly differently. Actually, it's in a completely different box. I'll leave a picture of it somewhere in the video. And there's this one, which comes with an Obi-Wan pilot figure with a little gimmick. Now, I got this off of eBay for roughly $52, but let's just take a closer look at the packaging. You got the Star Wars logo up there, with the Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan Kenobi Starfighter, Jedi Starfighter, with the two attack modes. And check this out. KB Toys, $21.99. The original price was presumably $27.99. I really miss KB Toys. That was a store I went to many times as a kid in my local mall, but unfortunately it closed, as we all know. But man, this brings back memories. Never had this toy as a kid, but I always loved Star Wars, and Attack of the Clones is a movie I have a soft spot for. I watched the hell out of it as a kid. And one of my favorite scenes was when Jango Fett and Obi-Wan were in space in the asteroid field. And if you look carefully, little hard to see, and I'll probably get a close look at it later, but you can actually see the Slave One, Jango Slave One, firing in the background there, and it looks like they have a little diorama. We'll take a closer look at it once I unbox this, but right here you see the flight mode, which is just the regular mode of the Delta 7, and the supposed fight mode, where these pieces eject and reveals some missile launchers. This never happened in the movie. I don't know if this happened in the Legends timeline or in the canon novels or anything, but I think that's really cool. This is the included figure, which I believe this was sold separately as well, this figure, and it had a slashing attack. You got the Hasbro logo there on the top. Converts from flight to fight mode. And it's got this blue space and the stars, and got the lightsaber there. This is how the toys were packaged during the Attack of the Clones line. Got more of that window there, Star Wars. And on the back, it just shows you everything the ship can do. It's got landing gear and all that. It got thrusters and all kinds of cool stuff. And what's interesting is that apparently it comes with this little satellite thing, which can be attached up there. And the variant that didn't come with the Obi-Wan figure did not come with that. And to get that little satellite, you had to get that figure here, which was sold separately. Hasbro, made in China. Oh, it's upside down. And at the bottom, it just tells you a little bit about the scenery of that scene in the movie. And you can see that seeker missile chasing the Delta 7. And you got that shot. You got two shots from the movie with R4 and Obi-Wan as a pilot. Now here's what I find pretty interesting. Right here it says Hasbro 30 Jedi Master Points. This reminds me an awful lot of the flag points from the vintage G.I. Joe era. I don't have any of the boxes to show you, since I don't own any of the boxes. But that was a thing they did in the 80s, and I'm sure they probably did this with other toys as well. It makes me think of the vintage G.I. Joe line. And I guess it acted like that, where basically you can use those points to mail to Hasbro, and you can get special prizes. That's all there really is to the packaging. And what I'm gonna do is open this up, and we'll take a closer look at this awesome vehicle. There's also some tape down here. Didn't notice that. Alright, hopefully we'll be able to get a better look at this type of little diorama that they had here. Come on. Oh, there we go. Whoa! Camera almost fell. Okay. This is really cool the way they package this, and There you can see the Slave 1 and all the asteroids. And there's the ship and figure inside in all of its glory. And here we have the Delta 7 unboxed, and wow, this set is really good. The Delta 7 has always been one of my favorite starfighters in Star Wars, and it bears a striking resemblance to the Yorikat, a starfighter that the Yuuzhan Vong used during the Yuuzhan Vong invasion. It makes me wonder if the designers took inspiration from the descriptions from the new Jedi Order novels. The paint job on this vehicle is excellent, and it's got a really cool weathering effect. On the underside, you got more of the weathering on the bottom, and it just looks really good. However, the stickers that they have chosen for this, it just sticks out like a sore thumb, like this here and here that kind of represent some mechanical detail, as well as these stickers and the ones at the top. I think this one's actually a little crooked, but these stickers are the only thing that makes this feel like a toy. Oh, and the Republic's logo right here is a little bit misaligned, as you can see. Well, that doesn't really bother me too much. There are also Republic stickers on the back of the ship, and where the thrusters are, and the back of these, I guess, wings. It's just got this really awesome detail, and it's all painted in this metallic gray, and it's just so cool to look at. Now for R4P17, it's nicely painted. However, there is a paint defect on the head there, and I believe the eye is supposed to be black, but I'm not sure. And it can swivel 360. Actually, I don't think it can. Wait. Oh, yes, it can. I thought it would get stuck on the side here, but it doesn't. Unfortunately, this can't be removed to reveal a full figure of the astromech. It's just permanently sculpted in there, and it can swivel. It's a missed opportunity, but based on the way this toy was made and the play features it has, I don't think it would have been possible. But maybe in the future we'll get like a vintage collection of this ship that is upscaled a little bit more, where you can fully fit the astromech droid inside. As you saw throughout the video, I kept the Obi-Wan figure inside, and to open it, it's pretty straightforward, but you gotta have nails to just dig in deep into these little crevices. There we go. And I'll take the figure out now. And we'll take a look at him later in the video. And inside, it's pretty simple. The seat has some nice detail, and there's a lot of sticker detail inside as well. And there's this headpiece thing that is on a hinge that goes up and down, which I think is really cool. Oh, and closing the cockpit, you have to be very careful too. I feel like this could potentially break if you're not careful. It reminds me a lot of the canopy on the animated series Batmobile from Kenner. Now for the gimmicks on this vehicle. There is a landing gear, but watch how it comes out. I just think it's really cool the way they engineered this. I don't know why, but the way that moves on the hinges is just really satisfying, and it just looks very realistic the way it comes out. And you can just rest it on the ground like this, and I think that looks pretty cool. There is a button at the bottom of the ship, and when you push it, this happens. These pieces fall off, revealing a bunch of guns, and these little wing pieces stick out. And it looks an awful lot like a TIE fighter, and also the Jedi Interceptors from Revenge of the Sith. And it also reveals some more sticker detailing, which actually look pretty good here. But there's actually more to it than just this. There are these buttons at the back, and when you push them, it launches the missiles. Now, before I do that, I want to point out that the missiles are actually well hidden, and they're actually here and here. If a toy like this came out today, they'd probably paint it some bright colors or something, but it's actually perfectly hidden with these other guns, and it blends in perfectly. And to launch, you just push the buttons and they fire. I also noticed that when these little wings open up, it reveals some detail that kind of looks like the sides of the wings of a TIE fighter, which is a really nice touch. And this is what I was talking about earlier, of how it wouldn't be possible to fit an astromech figure in here because of the way this was engineered. But it doesn't bother me that much. These guns are also painted a beautiful metallic gray. And to put those pieces that fell out back in, first you just... focus. First you gotta put these wings back in. Now when you do this, you gotta be careful because these pieces here are kind of made of a bendy plastic, and I just feel like they could snap very easily. So what you do, you just be very careful when you're lining it, and you push it in. And we do the same with the other side. Just be very careful, because I would hate if any of my toys break, especially older toys like this one. Overall, this is an absolutely fantastic vehicle, but now it's time to look at the included Obi-Wan figure. And here we have the included Obi-Wan figure, and for an early 2000s figure, I think it looks pretty good. Not a perfect representation of Ian McGregor, but I think it looks pretty good. He has a sculpted on headset that looks pretty movie accurate from what I can remember. Nice details on the robe, and unfortunately there are some paint defects on here. But he's got a nicely painted and detailed belt with some pouches on it. And there's a big button, but we'll get to that later. And you got these boots, which unfortunately I think the legs are a little warped. Because as you saw earlier, it could stand on its own, but it's a little bit tricky. And sometimes on certain surfaces it tends to fall over. The figure is kind of in a fixed pose because it's one of those gimmicky figures. And it comes with this lightsaber, which is surprisingly made out of a metal. It's made out of metal, kind of. Kind of feel a little cold when I touched it. It has a nicely sculpted in lightsaber, which can be removed, by the way, like a lot of lightsaber accessories. I also noticed that on the lightsaber, there's a side that is completely black. I don't know what the point of that really is. My only guess is it has something to do with the magnetic feature on Obi-Wan's hand. Now here's where the toy gets interesting, or figure. The hand looks a little funny here, but apparently this is a magnet, so you can replicate Obi-Wan using the Force when he grabs his lightsaber. Oops, that didn't go well. But it's magnetic. And what you do is you have him hold the lightsaber like so. And you have the magnet in there. And now he's in this stance. And you push the button, he swings the lightsaber up and down. Which I think is actually kind of cool. I was never really a fan of action figures that had little gimmicks like this. I preferred when they have like articulation or some more articulation. But this is actually a very fun play feature for kids. Unfortunately, the magnetic connection isn't really strong, and sometimes when you play around with it, the hand kind of comes off the lightsaber hilt. Okay, this Obi-Wan's having a hard time standing right now, So what I'm going to do is use this 25th anniversary Cobra Commander stand and just have him stand on it like so. Oh, alright. Now for other don't fall. Now for other accessories, you get this stand with the radar/satellite dish, or it's a radar dish. And you can just leave it like this. And what you can do is that you can take off this dish, and you can put it on to the Starfighter. Like so. There's a little hole in there, and you can stick it in to kind of complete the look. While it doesn't look bad, and it comes off very easily, and it looks like it got warped in the packaging, and it just doesn't look right. So what I'm going to do when I display it is I'm just going to just keep it onto this stand. This next accessory really confused me when I first unboxed the toy, but apparently these are binoculars. I looked at the instructions, and nowhere does it really show how to use the binoculars with the figure. And it's nowhere to be seen anywhere on the instructions. But the only mention of it is right here. The binoculars right there. But it's nowhere to be seen on the instructions, which really baffled me, and I couldn't find a way for Obi-Wan to hold the binoculars. Like, if I try to have him hold it like this, he can't really put it through his eyes. And it's just a really awkward accessory, and it can get lost really easily, so I'm probably going to just keep this in the box. The final accessory is this robe. And it's pretty cool that this figure came with the robe, and it's pretty common for Jedi figures to have like these soft cloth robes and have them wear it. And I think it's a really cool idea, but I have no idea how to get this robe on this Obi-Wan, because you can't really spread out the arms because they're not on hinges, and they just do this. Oh, and let's get the articulation out of the way. The arms can rotate, and they have a bicep swivel. The head can go on a swivel. The hands also swivel. And the legs can go back and forth, and that's about it. It's pretty standard for a figure from this time period. But anyway, when I try to put on the robe, it just doesn't really work. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but because I can't spread out the arms, it's nearly impossible for me to put this robe on. I've yet to achieve it. Because when I try to put the arm in through here, it doesn't really seem to come out all the way. And even if I manage to, I can't seem to get the other arm in. And it's just a big mess. So I'm probably going to keep that in the packaging as well. Now for size comparisons, here's the set next to the Black Series Darth Nihilus, and my previous review, the Super Robot Chogoking Kyoryu and Enryu 2-pack. So there you have my review on the Attack of the Clones, Jedi Starfighter, and Obi-Wan Pilot. This is definitely a must-have if you're a fan of Star Wars and collecting vehicles. They just don't make them like they used to, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.